So this is Joesph Alminawi. He's the community manager at OMGPOP. How many champions do you guys currently have?
We have about 24 right now.
Just a portion of OMGPOP's champs. Are any of them champion moderators?
Oh yeah, 4 of them. Very, specially selected, but 4 very trusted moderators, always there, always keeping close contact with us.
Do you happen to know how long it was between launching the community and anointing your first champ?
Oh, it was a bit of a while. It was at least a little over a month. I was new to the Get Satisfaction product. I wanted to see how people used it and how people behaved, who stuck with it. And after some time, I spoke with some people and, talking about it. And I chose my first one, and then after that, everyone wanted to know how to become a champ. So
yeah. Yeah, you definitely have one of those communities. Gaming communities, I think the whole champion status thing is a big deal. So what do you look for in a potential champion?
Passionate about helping people, understanding, and also we look at their time zone, to be honest. There are just time zones. Like, our site is always active. It's a game site. There's always, thousands of people on playing. And there are just times during the day or night, early morning, that we're just not as responsive because I'm sleeping. So we look for people who are active around maybe like later time zones or to cover spots where we are, and we'll take that into consideration as well. It's not a key thing, but it's an important thing we look at.
So once you notice someone with the potential for being a champion, do you do anything to foster that?
Yeah. Well, first thing I do is when I look at someone, since they're on our site, we have details of what their records are in terms of like how they use our site, what their behavior has been. So the first thing I'll do is a bit of a background check and see what kind of person they are, in addition to and whether that's congruent with what they do on the site. And after that, I'll reach out to them. I'll talk with them more. I'll discuss some of their topics. And after that, if I feel good about them, we'll welcome them to the champ group.
So how do you manage your champions? Do you have any guidelines that you've given them?
Absolutely. It's funny how much we treat them like actual remote staff. I get everyone's email address. They're all copied on a group. We recently started a Facebook group, and we communicate to them just like our protocols and examples of what good replies are. You'll find, make sure you check in this box for our latest updates, and we'll give you a heads up via email regarding big changes we're making, so you guys can be ready and maybe help us a little bit more, that weekend or something. So communication is huge. The ideal solution is probably just having a private area for them, and that's what I'm working on. Or if you guys do it, that's cool too. Definitely heavy communication outside of Get Satisfaction.
How has using champions benefited your community or your company?
The biggest thing is response time. A lot of the time, even if I'm monitoring my email like a hawk, for Get Satisfaction replies, a lot of times these guys will swoop in and give an awesome response way ahead of me. And it's just awesome, and it gives all our other users who join or ask for a question instant answers, and you can tell they love it, and things have just grown as a result of it. So, to be honest, the huge reason why we wanted to Get Satisfaction was for the champs functionality. It's just awesome. It's just a huge thing to leverage your community.
How big is your support team on the community, your actual employed support team?
I have 4 other guys here who help with email. So we have Zendesk integrated. These guys they're 4 part-time guys in addition to myself. And they help reply to tickets mostly, and Get Satisfaction as well. But it's only 4 people on on our side that are part-time. If I did not have the champs, I could see the support team here being way larger, and the expense being way higher too.
So do you have anything additional you'd like to share with us about how your team is managing champions, or what you're doing with your champions program?
Totally. So, like I mentioned, after assigning the first few champs, everyone in our community want to know how to become a champ. A lot of them are just for status, but the way we communicated it was hey, when deciding on champs, we'll look at what you're saying, but we'll look at, if you're looking for a general idea of, how we gauge, you can get stars when you provide, a helpful answer and someone thinks it's helpful. So, we'll tell them we'll look at, the number of stars you have, and among other things. And then what we saw cropping up was people would start, threads, hey, star me and I'll star you back. So you have to be, when choosing a champ, you want to be careful. Looking to, take the time to go through their history. This person will be representing, your organization. So check to see, what they've been saying, whether they've tried to game the system and such. It's pretty easy to catch, but it's definitely something to look for. We've noticed that, sometimes our champs will get a little overzealous in defending, our product, which is great. Their heart's in the right place, but, it's okay, for, some users to have, complaints or, to be angry. And, it's just the way we deal with that makes us, different and reflects who we are. So it's just, keeping an eye on that and having a talk on the side with them. One thing I also do when someone does become a champ and I introduce them, I tell them that, being a champ is not permanent, and we look to you guys to be active, and we know you're not going to do it forever, but when you stop being active, we're going to take the champ status away. So that's something we communicate as well. So we treat it really like a remote team, and it's very cool. The guys are awesome. We try to recognize them. We do give them additional bonuses on the site, our cash currencies once in a while. So thank you for helping us in tough times.
You do some kind of reward systems outside of the community
Right.
On satisfaction.
Using the, I keep on forgetting what it's called, but they have the ability to, like, tag.
That private tag feature, this user-defined code.
Exactly, yeah. So we'll have, we have 4 or 5 codes that we actively use. So one of them will be like needs love, and we'll, like, inform our, like, champs ahead of time. At least, the ones that have moderation status anyway. So, like, if anything's like really important, mark it with needs love. It'll be the first thing I look at every morning, and it is. Or if something is like, maybe a bug, they can mark that, and that goes to our QA team, and they'll go through that and double check it. So it's really helpful. Just like, we have a lot of activity now to get satisfaction, a lot of replies, and being able to use those codes and having our mods use those codes really helps us float the important stuff to the top.
Well, thanks so much for chatting with us, Joesph.